Age eligibility rules exist in high school sports to ensure both a competitive playing field and the safety of the athletes themselves. But some argue that rigid enforcement of such policies flies in the face of common sense. This morning, a Michigan boy with Down syndrome learned whether or not he'll be allowed to play in his senior season when he'll be 19 years old. As E60's Jeremy Schaap reports, for one family, it is the culmination of a 2-year quest to let their son play.
In Michigan's Upper Peninsula, in the old mining town Ishpeming, a teenage boy spends countless hours in his basement practicing the sports he loves.
So many times we get wrapped up in winning, losing, and everything else, and we forget about the important things in life, and I think Eric teaches us those lessons.
Eric Dompierre is finishing up his junior year at Ishpeming High School. He appears late in games as a place kicker in football. And as a three-point specialist in basketball. Born with Down syndrome, he might never directly alter the outcome of a game, but he might nevertheless make a lasting impact on Michigan high school sports.
Sports means a lot to me because it helps my confidence and being with my friends because they want to be with me.
It's really the most important thing in his life right now. He just lights up when he puts on the hematite jersey. He's just very proud to be a part of it all. And to not be a part of that would be devastating.
And that's exactly what seemed about to happen. When Eric made a three-pointer in the district finals in March, there was every reason to believe it would be his final basket. Held back twice, Eric, who turned 19 in January, is older than his teammates. And according to Michigan High School Athletic Association policy, he would be prohibited from playing during his senior season.
The rule is if you're 19 before September 1st, you can't participate at all in any sport that year. It was over 2 years ago, I started a conversation with the MHSAA as to how we could make the changes to allow kids like Eric to participate as seniors.
Beginning in 2010, Eric's father and the Ishpeming School District attempted to get the rule changed, but the High School Athletic Association declined to act on their proposals. Associate Director Tom Casperson said, "There were concerns that the broadening list of disabilities was unmanageable. I heard in every room, what about autism? What about kids with learning disabilities?" Many thought this is a crack in the dam schools did not want to proceed in. Regardless, the Dompierres made another attempt this spring.
8 states have specific language related to allowing waivers for those with disabilities. And there were 15 others that allowed waivers to any rule, including their age rule, if it imposed an undue hardship on a student. So there's 23 states in all that are currently doing something similar to what we're asking for.
We feel Michigan should...
A campaign to publicize Eric's case generated interest in the state legislature. On May 2nd, father and son spoke during a Senate Education Committee hearing.
I worked hard for a long time to get to play my senior year. If I could play in other states, I should get to play in Michigan. Please let me. Thank you.
Michigan Senate unanimously passed a non-binding resolution urging the High School Athletic Association to amend its rigid under-19 age eligibility policy.
You brought the ball with you, eh?
5 days after the Dompierres appeared at the State House, the Athletic Association finally acted on their proposal. It allowed member schools to vote on a waiver of the maximum age limit in certain narrowly defined circumstances. Earlier today, the Athletic Association announced that schools voted in favor of the change, meaning that Eric has been given the opportunity to suit up for Ishpeming during his senior season.
Jeremy Schaap reporting. Now, a 2/3 majority vote was needed, and 94% of the Michigan schools who cast ballots did approve the change. But more than half of the state's schools, about 800, didn't vote at all. The The waiver does restrict repeating grades within high school, and the disability must be documented to diminish both physical and either intellectual or emotional capabilities. Outside the Lines did ask the executive director of the MHSAA to comment. He declined, but you see there Dean Dompierre, Eric's father, joining us here on Outside the Lines from the beautiful Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Let me ask you first, Dean, how did you find out about the news today?
We take our sixth graders up to an outdoor education camp every year at this time of the school year, and we were in the middle of breakfast when I got a phone call from my wife letting me know that it passed.
And what was your reaction?
Relief, I guess. It's been a long 2.5 years. Kind of a mixture of relief and thankfulness. Thankfulness for all the people who have helped these kids to get to this point. We don't know how to thank them.
When you and your son testified before the Michigan Senate, that seems like the turning point here in the legal battle. When you saw Eric testifying, what were your emotions?
Oh, I couldn't have been prouder of him. We worked on what he was going to say for several days, coming up with different ideas that he wanted to point out regarding how he felt about playing and how he felt about not playing, and put it together. And for most kids, and myself included, it's kind of a nerve-wracking thing to do, is testify in front of a Senate committee. But he handled it like a trooper, and my wife Jill and I, we could not have been prouder.
What is it like to be Eric's father?
What's it like to be Eric's father? Again, there's a lot of pride. We never saw, 19 years ago when he was, we didn't know what to expect. He's been fortunate in growing up in the extended family and the community that he's grown up in, with the classmates and the teachers around here. And not just here in Ishpeming, but in the surrounding communities as well. They've all been very supportive of him, very encouraging.
What does high school sports mean, and participating in it, to Eric?
Oh, it's helped his development tremendously. Not only his physical development, he takes his sports very seriously. He works out, rarely, if ever, misses a workout, never misses practices. But also it's helped his intellectual development, in that he takes his schoolwork very seriously so that he's eligible to play. Also helps his social development. He's met a whole lot of people being involved in high school athletics. And it's really helped him to become as high-functioning a young man as he is.
What does Eric playing high school sports mean to you as you watch him?
Well, again, he gets in toward the end of games when the game is usually decided. But to get in and watch him be able to contribute to the team is really what high school sports is all about. And I've gotten to recently, when he gets in and if he scores, I've taken to watching the crowd, I guess, more so than watching him afterward, because the crowd seems to get into it as much, if not more, than Eric when he's out there on the floor.
What do you hope those fans take away when they see him in the game?
Well, I hope they take away, and I think they do, an understanding of what high school sports is really all about. Like Coach Salisbury said in the story, we sometimes get wrapped up too much in winning and losing, and we tend to lose sight of sportsmanship. But once Eric is in the game, and kids like Eric get into games, people get that perspective back.
What does it say to you that some 800 schools didn't vote?
Well, I'm a teacher, and I understand at this point in the school year, it's the busiest part of the school year, with graduations going on, end of the year activities going on. Administrators are really overwhelmed with what they're expected to do in schools today. So I'm sure there were a lot of them who just kind of put it off to the side of their desk, intending to take care of it later, and things just came up, I'm sure, for those people, and they just weren't able to get at it. But I would imagine they probably figured that most people were going to vote the way that they were going to vote, and therefore it wasn't probably necessary for them to turn in their ballot.
Well, now you know you'll see your son play another season of high school football and basketball once you fill out the waiver request, and we assume it'll be passed with flying colors. What are you most looking forward to about seeing Eric one more season in high school sports?
I just look forward to all the positive things that he's going to learn from being part of a team and being able to contribute with his teammates and be out there on the field and be able to do all the things that his classmates are going to be able to do. And I also look forward really to seeing maybe some other kids who are going to benefit from this rule change and this waiver ability of the rule. I'd love to go and watch them too. So if if people out there have kids who this rule will benefit, I'd love to hear from them.
Dean Dompierre, congratulations on the 2-year battle and a big day today. Thanks for joining us on Outside the Lines.
Thanks for having me, Steve.